Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm your host, Rolene Marks, and the balagan with moving is getting slightly better. Wish the weather would. It is extremely hot in Israel at the moment, but what is really, really hot at the moment are our news headlines. And I'm going to get right into the top story. The top story at the moment is that Israel is facing its third day of ongoing riots in protest to the death of young Ethiopian Solomon Teka, who was tragically gunned down by an off-duty police officer. The police officer in question has been suspended pending an investigation for unlawful killing. Now, what began as relatively peaceful protests across the country have turned violent, and at the moment we know of about 136 people arrested for rioting. Some of the images that are circulating on social media are quite horrific. Protesters jumping on cars, overturning cars, setting fire to property. At the moment, the arterial routes into Tel Aviv are closed. Many people trying to make their way home in time on public transport to avoid this. The Minister of Internal Affairs, Gilad Erdan, has met with senior officials from the Ethiopian community to try and calm down the anger. He has said to them that he feels their pain and will do something to try and stop this, but anarchy will not be tolerated. As far as Afula, several policemen injured by stones that have been thrown by protesters. One of the policemen firing into the air to try and stop the protesters. Over 120 police officers hurt, and many people being treated for injuries. And the last count was about 86 people being treated for injuries. So the scene in and around Israel today is quite tense, but it also brings up other questions and other issues which perhaps we haven't been discussing, and that is the situation for Ethiopian Israelis in the country. Many feel that they have been over-policed, and members of the police actually admitting today that perhaps they have been over-policing members of the Ethiopian community. And also a lot of criticism against the government for not doing enough to try and acclimate, to try and absorb Ethiopian immigrants in and around the country. Many Ethiopians still face a lot of discrimination in a variety of different areas, and it is believed, and many are of the opinion, that not a lot or not enough is being done to try and integrate members of the Ethiopian community better into Israeli society. So we will keep you updated as to the situation on the ground here in Israel, but just to reiterate, many people making their way home from the center of the country because roads have been closed due to riots. And in other news, as we are on the eve of July the 4th, and at this point in time I'd like to wish all our American viewers a very, very happy Independence Day for tomorrow. At an event held at the embassy in Jerusalem, Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that he is not averse to the Trump peace plan, that he will treat the Trump peace plan and keep an open mind with regards to it. And then a positive story to close off today, and the heavy metal or heavy rock band Disturbed were in Israel, paying to a 10,000 strong crowd in Rishon LeZion last night. And what was particularly moving was the lead singer breaking out into Israel's national anthem, Hatikvah, and dedicating it to Israel's soldiers, to the IDF. And this comes at a time when the lead singer of Disturbed has criticized quite vehemently Roger Waters, who is known for his anti-Israel stance and for advocating for boycotts. And he backed his words up with a visit, with a performance in Israel last night that knocked the socks off of all who attended. And of course, the greatest tribute being to Israel's soldiers. So those are the major headlines making news today. and the Israel Brief should be returning back to normal, looking a lot less frazzled within the next couple of days. Remember that you can check out our content online, and you can do that at www.layoftheland.online. We upload content at least 3 times a week, a lot of very, very interesting articles to read. And don't forget, you can check out our archives if you would like to reread articles or have missed some along the way. You can also join our Facebook community at Lotl site by liking us or following us. And click on the subscribe button below if you are viewing this on YouTube, and you can subscribe to receive your daily edition of the Israel Brief. I'm Rolene Marks for the Israel Brief. We'll chat again tomorrow.